High Desert, everybody, in Sagebrush Shooting. Today we're going to be talking about the Rock Island TM-22, and it's been described as an AR pattern. Not really all that accurate, okay? Like your Smith & Wesson MMP 1522, Tippin Arms M422, those are straight up AR clones. This one is not. Okay, it does have a bunch of AR compatible components. Some of them are not because it is proprietary, and we'll talk about that here in a minute. Okay, so it is a all-metal construction, or as close as you can get. So the construction is either out of steel alloys or 7075 aluminum, and it's all matching matte black finishes. The only exceptions you got are your AR style grip and your magazine followers and magazine base plates, if you want to count that. You do you. The receiver separates into two pieces, but not like AR. It doesn't have the pin right here, to take it apart. So on the top, you got a 7.5-inch optic rail, which is also the cover for the bolt and all that stuff. And it extends past the receiver to the handguard right here, which is also aluminum. All right, and the rest of the receiver is what they call a monolithic unit, and it includes the trigger guard. The upper portion of the receiver features a right and left side slot shaped ports. The right side is the ejection port, and the left side is the charging handle. They are not reversible. Sorry, lefties, it's a right-hand world out there. And it's the charging handle. Let's see if we can do that here. Let's see. Here we go. Sorry for that, fellas, ladies, whoever's watching. Okay, so the charging handle right here, and it's got it's knurled, so it's a little easier to pull on. That's going to be one of my cons later. We're going to talk about that. So you have your groove safety lever, up for safe, down for bang. And that's about it for that part of this rifle. So you also, we're going to flip back over. Okay, here we go. Magazine release right here, and there is a con on that one too that we're going to discuss here shortly. As you can tell, the bolt is held back right now, but notice the magazine's in there. We're going to talk about that. Okay. Now, the magazines are awesome. They are made out of aluminum, except for the base plate, which is, like we talked about, it is plastic. And after the last round is fired, it will the bolt will stay back as long as the magazine's in there. Okay, so you have a straight, flat-faced aluminum trigger, and it's really light. That was another reason why I bought this. It's a 2-pound pole. It's awesome. For a gun that costs $280, outstanding trigger. Okay, and it's smooth, clean, and it'll go all the way past. Like the break is pretty indistinctive, and it'll continue to travel all the way till you get to the rear of the trigger guard. And it's not crisp, but it's not a target shooting trigger, but it is pretty nice to use. It's some people, you might have to get used to it, but I do like it. So there's a couple different versions of this thing. You got an 18-inch barrel, which is what this one is, and then you also have a 20-inch. But yeah, and it does have a threaded muzzle on here, and it's a 1x28 TPI. So it'll, a lot of muzzle devices you could put on there. Flash, hiders, compensators, suppressor, whatever you want. Okay, so, but this one does have the thread protector on it. Okay, so the handguard, 10 inches long, it is aluminum. We talked about that. And you got M-lock slots at 3, 6, 9, 12 o'clock positions. And it is supported by an AR barrel nut and looks like an AR part, but it is proprietary. So yeah, you have to get with Rock Island on that, or we can do some research and see what else you can probably put on there, but I don't think you can swap it out. Okay, so the fluted aluminum AR buffer tube is set into a threaded port back here, and it does have, you know, the castle nut and all that, and the rifle does come with the wrench to take that apart if you want, and also up here too for the barrel. Okay, and it's capped with a skeletonized texture butt plate with a curved toe, and it is about 13 inches long, which gives you 13 inches length of pull, and it's, yeah, it's perfect for me. And I'm 6'1", and I got, you know, pterodactyl arms. So, all right, but yeah, it is, you can switch out the buffer tube with any kind of AR style one you want out there. All right, let's talk about the weight. So with the magazine installed with no ammo, you're talking about 5 pounds, a little over 5 pounds. And the balance point is about right here, which it's, yeah, it feels fantastic. And I've been seeing, I think maybe they've gone up a little bit, you know, it could be tariffs, who knows. But I was seeing suggested MSRPs were like $350. I didn't pay anywhere near that. I paid $280. Actually, yeah, I think it was about $260, and then from Bud's Gun Shop, I did the lifetime warranty and all that stuff, and it put it up to, you know, right around 300, and I think it was like 306 to be exact. Okay, so let's get down to the cons. Okay, so like we talked about, the bolt is open right now, so I'm gonna try and do this so we don't get kicked off YouTube here. So, all right. Okay. All right. So, a little sleight of hand there, huh? Not bad. Okay, so the bolt is now closed. So that is one of the cons. When you drop the magazine out, that bolt is going to go home. All right, so keep that in mind. Keep your fingers clear when you drop that magazine out of there, because it is going to drop on you. Okay, now we're going to talk about these fasteners that the rifle came with. So there's 4 in total, okay? You got one here, and one here. Notice these 2 are, you know, just bare metal. This one's black. Well, all 3 of them have been changed out because the rifle ships with aluminum screws. So when I got mine, I don't know who put this thing together, King Kong, I think, but this one was in there so tight that I couldn't even get it out. So, yeah, I kept trying to, you know, work it, you know, nice and slow. Nope, stripped right out, and I couldn't get it out. Tried heating it up, still couldn't get it out. So had to drop it off at our local gunsmith there at Brass Depot. Thanks, Chris, for getting that handled, man. Appreciate you guys. And so after that, I went to every hardware store we got out here in town, and I switched them out for steel. Okay, now I got one left to go, which is the charging handle. Okay, so how the charging handle screw works is basically you have a screw with a spacer on it, right? And the spacer is, you know, knurled, so you got your which becomes your charging handle, and that goes directly into the bolt. This one here is also aluminum, just like the ones on the top, and that one is stripped out. But and you can't take it apart unless you pull this screw out. Well, luckily, I'm not sure how well we're going to be able to get this on the camera here. So like I said, it's a spacer, so I can get channel locks on there and get that to come out, so I can clean it and stuff like that. So the hardware stores here in town just haven't had the right size. So once I get one that's in stock, I'm going to grab it, and that should fix that problem. The other issue that you're going to have, okay, if you don't go with a optic like I have on here, okay, if you have a scope that you put on here that's going to eat up this whole real estate here, you're going to have to remove that scope every single time to clean this thing. I don't like that. I think that is just a poor design right there. You know, with the optic, it's no problem at all. Now, I did get this thing zeroed in, but I took it apart and cleaned it after we got home, so I don't know if it's still going to be zero. So we're going to go out to the range here in a minute and test that out. So we're going to talk about the optic in a different video because I fell a little bit behind on getting some content out there to you guys. I apologize for that, but life has a habit of getting in the way. All right, let's go hit that range. All right, out here at the range, let's see how we do. We're at 25 yards. Got the camera is going to be set up right underneath the barrel like usual. And after each mag, we'll go out there and see how we did. Now, if you guys remember, back there in the garage, I said that I had to, you got to take apart the top part of the receiver to clean this thing, right? So we're going to see how close we are to zero after we got it put back together after cleaning. So here we go. All right, we're going to go dead center just to see where we're at. Well, that was a quick 10. Holy crap, that was awesome. Okay, let's go see how we did here. So I will, in full disclosure, it took about 50 rounds out of that TM-22 to get it to start acting right. Yeah, a lot of malfunction up until that point. So, okay, here we go. We were aiming right here. So it looks like we're just a shade low. We're gonna go one more mag and just to make sure that wasn't me. I could have been aiming right there. I don't know. I didn't put a piece of tape on it like I usually do. So we're gonna tape this up and we're gonna try it again. All right, got our adjustments made. Let's see where we're at. Sorry about the wobble on the camera, guys. All right, here we go, right for that middle of that tape. Burrow's over there having fun, I guess. Flies. Why, God, did you create that creature? All right, that's 10. Let's go take a look here. Yeah, all right. So, if you want to ask what my opinion is of this thing, I love it. Feels the part pretty solid. Yeah, I did have a couple of flyers. Okay, yeah, I knew those were going to be up. So I think we're going to come back. I think we're going to go 2 dots left and maybe up one more, and I think we're there. Yeah, I am pretty thankful. No wind today, and we're out here rocking our new gazebo. Thanks, Walmart, for having that mismarked. It was like 120 bucks. I got it for 50. All right, let's get down with another one. Yeah, that looks really good. All right, let's go take a look here. All right. Yeah, so while we're doing this, I do want to thank everybody for liking and subscribing. And we've been getting a ton of comments lately, and I really do appreciate that. Is unbelievable. I just can't believe I get that kind of support from everybody. So if you guys want to know, that was, let's see, 3 adjustments on that rifle, and we are at 25 yards. There is a slight breeze, probably about 5 to 10 miles an hour. Okay, here we are. Yeah, so if you guys are wondering about the accuracy of that thing, there's your answer right there. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I'm gonna do one more just for a mag dump, and I'm gonna tape this up and we're gonna go back down there, and that's about it. You know, again, you guys are just awesome. So let's do one more, and let's get this wrapped up, guys. Yeah. We're just gonna keep it rolling. We can edit it out later. Yeah. Go get this taped up. So yeah, in case you guys are wondering, yeah, we are at 235 subscribers, and I haven't made a video in a month. Life does have a habit of creeping up on you, but you know, everything's okay. It just, you know, work stuff and just over it. I think the easiest way to get over this work stuff is to just not work anymore. But I got a couple years on that. Okay, here we go. Yeah, baby. All right, it's gonna be the last magazine. Sorry for the wobble. I do apologize. I think we're lined up here. All right, mag dump time. Okay, here we go. All right. All right. Quick 10. Yeah, but that thing is fun. Love it. Absolutely love it. Okay. Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. They made it all in that little circle, so we'll take it. And with that being said, y'all have a good Friday tomorrow and even a better weekend. Happy shooting out there, everybody. Holla.